So I have this enormous backlog of games I've been meaning to get around to, and I keep a few select games tucked away for a rainy day, just in case I feel like gaming in my living room while knocking back a few cold ones and making fun of it with my roommate. Lost Planet 3 is one of those games. I put this fucker off for what seems like forever, but recently I had a chance to play it, and let me just say, way to blow it, Capcom! Good lord, look at this fucker. It's pretty, it's got all these cool weather effects and shit. You drive a giant fucking mech around a deserted ice planet, working for some mining company doing odd jobs here and there. Things are looking good, and just when things start to get interesting, boom! Game turns into Dead Space. Crams you into dark corridors, creepy abandoned outposts as they plant the whole nothing is as it seems thing into the plot, which up until this point was actually pretty good. I was all into the first chunk of this game. They give the characters in your station time to breathe without getting on your nerves and take the time to establish the major players in your outpost, and then BAM! Fuck all that, we're going underground, and these were just minor characters that probably don't matter anymore. Fuck you! Seriously, what the F? I loaded this thing up and started playing and felt a breath of fresh air as I blasted weird country rock through my mech while traversing the barren landscape of a frozen planet trying to find the resources to survive the harshest of winters, sending credits to my family back on Earth and supporting my friends on the base, genuinely having a great time thinking this is different and awesome. Then I get hit with this Dead Space cramped corridor, dimly lit, creepy, you've seen all this shit 1,000 times before bullshit. They even go so far as to show you psych evaluation vids and give you the impression that you're about to lose your goddamn mind out there in the barren wastes, seeing shit, suffering from depression, and keeping you guessing about whether you're really cracking up or not, and then BAM! Nope, you're not seeing things, it was actually people you saw, and now you have to join the underground resistance like you've seen a gazillion times before. Boring! That's not to say the game doesn't have awesome shit in it, or that some things aren't done well. The story takes place over the period of around 30 years, and at the beginning it's revealed your character's dying and he's relating his story to his granddaughter as he kicks the bucket, which is great because once things get established in the first flashback segment, it starts to fast forward around and cut the bullshit out and get you right into things. The mech rig you have is also rad. In the story, the Nevik Corporation strictly forbids the use of militarized weapons on the mechs, which actually facilitates you getting on the ground and using the weapons and upgrades you get for use on foot. That's not to say the mech doesn't come with its own awesome combat stuff. You get a grabby arm and a drill arm, which can be used for picking up enemies, drilling into enemies, becoming a professional boxer, striking ice blocking your path, and stepping on dudes. The writing in here is also good. The characters have witty and grounded dialogue and seem like average Joes just trying to make it on a space station. Well, until they do that, the corporation isn't what it seems thing, which of course they do. Who cares about all that? You spend all this time establishing I got a wife and kid back on Earth, and that's what I'm fighting for, and then suddenly, nah man, fuck all that. You gotta save this underground resistance group because down with the man, y'all. Nah man, it's cool, don't turn your back on them and ensure your safety because you have a wife and child to think about, and no one has mentioned a life insurance policy or anything. Just do all this shit for free, because reasons. Let me also mention that somewhere around the halfway point, while they're doing their best job possible of standing on their tippy toes in the doorframe to appear just as tall as Dead Space while mommy measures, there's a huge difficulty spike. They introduce really shitty enemies with really shitty mechanics. The game suddenly becomes a cover shooter, and there are creepy crawly dudes that give no fucks about whether you're in cover and attack you anyway, and they're also really difficult to shoot. Some of the combat sections become frustrating and stupid, and a few boss fights took longer than needed. A few of them I had to restart from last checkpoint because I ran out of grenades, which apparently were an integral part of winning those battles. And sure, there were some ammo crates around, but I picked them up, one before the fight and one during, and they disappear when you use them, so, you know, if you need any more than that, fuck you! At some point, the two diverging plot lines attempt to merge into a crescendo, but due to a super frustrating, inescapable bug, I never got to finish the game. For some stupid reason while playing, I get a sign-in error that randomly interrupts gameplay and kicks me back to the main menu, likely due to some DRM crap that's hiding in the background, and I'm forced to load a previous autosave that could be a long way from where I was previously, and fuck that. Around the 15-hour mark, I gave up trying to run it. Even though I was at the very end of the game, I just felt like it wasn't worth the frustration of seeing the story through to its conclusion, particularly when you can see it coming a mile away since the beginning of the game starts at the end. And the villains come out of nowhere really fast, giving you very little reason to hate them outside of, look, I just got here, but here's a short speech about how evil I am because I work for Corporation X and I have my reasons. There isn't any build-up. It's just, oh shit, the paramilitary's just dropped onto the planet. F the previous plan. We're killing everyone and doing our own thing with explosions, because that's how video games end, am I right? Look, I really wanted to like this game, but it's like the game doesn't know what it wants to be. I personally want to drive a mech and gather resources for survival in a harsh and unforgiving environment, going on nothing but the driving spirit and sheer force of will, establishing friendships in the lonely base and watching those characters live and evolve, possibly die, until the cool exterior of a hotshot mech pilot begins to wear down, until the psychological profile no longer fits the bill and has to choose between continuing a life of anguish to support his newfound family or return home to Earth guilty in his comforts for leaving them all behind. Where the fuck is that game? I could give a fuck about evil corporations or the blight of the underground mole people searching for the pure energies from the planet or whatever the fuck, or creepy abandoned outposts. And why the fuck do they introduce a music player into your mech with awesome weird-ass country western drilling music and then disable it all the goddamn time? Just